Hello parents and welcome back. This is part 2 to our two-part series about how fast-paced television can negatively impact your young children. Now in my video, I'm saying that young children is under 10 years old because that is where I personally have seen the most dramatic effects of fast-paced television. And this is also where we see the most rapid brain growth is in kids that are under 10 years old. So, as promised in my last video, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tools and examples to be able to identify these possibly overstimulating sections to your kids' shows. Okay, first I want to give you guys a little tool to help you classify what kind of show your child is watching. So this is based off the information that the show is aiming at giving to your child while they're watching. In all my research, I was able to identify 3 distinct categories that these shows tend to fall into. So our first category is standard education. This is colors, numbers, letters, shapes, everything you think of when you think of a typical classroom setting. Education is what this kind of show is aiming at giving to your child. So the second category is life lesson based, and this is like sharing, compassion, empathy, being able to recognize your own emotions. This is a great category for kids. It's very useful as they're growing up, and it helps them become a more well-rounded human. But it is also very hard to teach on a child's level. And then our last category is kind of like miscellaneous. These are shows that I grouped together because they're not really aiming at teaching anything. It's more mindless entertainment like SpongeBob. Okay, now that you can identify what kind of show your child is watching, we are going to look more into the composition of those shows. So firstly, I would like to look at color and music. These kind of follow the same rule. So for color first, because it's a little bit easier to identify, shows with a lot of colors and highly saturated colors often tend to be overstimulating to young minds, because if I'm looking at a photo with 15 different moving parts to it, and all parts are different colors, and all colors are very bright, even as an adult, I would start to get confused. I'd go, where am I looking? What am I doing? And so for a child's brain, it really is dependent on those colors and how many they are, how many colors there are. And same with music. So if I'm an adult listening to crazy fast music and it's super hyper and loud and this, that, and the other, and I'm trying to focus on processing things, I'm not going to be able to do it as efficiently as if I were to have slow, calm music that allowed my brain to think on a more steady and even pace, you know? Okay, next is communication. So this is how the characters are communicating within the show. This can be character communication, meaning the characters talking to themselves. This could be character to character, 2 characters are talking to each other. This could be character to fourth wall, so a character is talking to your child. Or it could be narration, where someone that is not pictured is talking about the scene that's going on. Now, all of these can be beneficial, and it really is dependent on how they're used in the show. However, the problem I find is when it's switching between the type of communication that they're using very fast. So let's say I'm talking to myself, I'm the character, mind you. I'm talking to myself, and then 2 seconds later, I'm talking to my friend, and then we look at the child and we ask the child a question, and then the narrator comes over and narrates the whole thing. The kids just they're getting lost. They don't know how to switch topics that quickly. So it's best if it follows 1 or 2 topics for the entirety of the show, rather than switching back and forth between all of them. Okay, so our last category, and in my opinion, the most important category, is composition. And this is just kind of an umbrella over everything that I've already talked about, because it's all very heavily interrelated. So for this, I focus this more on the speed of the show. So how fast the frames are going, how fast they're switching between ideas or scenes, how fast color and music are switching, how fast communication is switching. I've already talked about how important that one is. And really just being able to identify the parts of your child's show that are overstimulating, that you're looking at it and you're going, wow, that's a lot. Think about it from your child's brain. They're going, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. So while I can understand that parenting is going to look and work differently for everyone, I also believe that we can all agree that if we're having our children watch a child's TV show, we want there to be a lesson and a takeaway that aids in their development rather than hinders their abilities. So, with that being said, I challenge you guys to try to identify some of these possible stimulants in your child's TV. Okay, I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch these videos. I know that you guys as parents are insanely busy, always. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope that this information is useful to you guys in any way.